AITA for buying my daughter a locked storage bin?
I am not Oop. Oop is you, Conscious Act 3704. He posted in r, Am I the Asshole? Daily fun fact to prevent spoilers on mobile. You, World Wonder. You, Commercial Curve 1047 and you, OreoCat requested Okapis. Okapis are a part of the giraffe family, and are actually not related to zebras. Their tongues are long enough to clean their eyes and their ears. Trigger warning. Theft. Body shaming. Emotional abuse. Less than. Mood spoiler. Sad but good for daughter. Less than. Original post. January 9th, 2023.
I, 53 meters, have a daughter, 17F, who I recently bought this big storage container for that locks. The reason being our daughter has a job and likes buying her own food and snacks for herself. The problem is that her mom invites her aunt, uncle and cousins over all the time, and even since she started buying her snacks and leaving them in the pantry they'd eat them without consulting her. She's asked them many times to not eat them but they don't listen. For reference, she likes to order snacks from other countries as a way to broaden her horizons. She's also linguistically gifted and liked to try and read labels to help expand her vocabulary. These snacks can take weeks to get after she orders them again, and by then her current snacks are gone.
My wife didn't do anything, saying that since our daughter kept them in the pantry they're for everyone. She moved them to her room and her cousins would go in when she wasn't and take them. I went to a hardware store and bought a big container with a lock, and for extra measure I bought extra locks and drilled holes so that they could be used. Our daughter cried and thanked me because it was pretty expensive and not something she could afford. Of course the cousins went to get more snacks and threw a fit when they saw it and realized the snacks weren't there. They told their parents and they told my wife, and she's not happy with me, saying that our daughter should share her snacks with family and she's being selfish and will get fat.
Our daughter is incredibly fit, does multiple sports and exercises all the time. She's far from unhealthy. I told my wife she could order her own and our daughter was happy to tell her where to order them, but she didn't like that either and told her that the chest needs to go and that I should have consulted her on buying the bin in the first place. AITA? Edit. The relatives are our daughter's cousins and aunt and uncle. They are my Sil, Bill and nephews, and Sil is my wife's sister, to clear up any confusion.
The pantry I also fully stocked with food. No one is going hungry and eating our daughter's snacks because they have to. Relevant comments. Why is wife insistent on taking these things? My wife hates spending money and is a cheapskate. The shipping prices for my daughter's snacks are too much for her and she doesn't want to spend that kind of money on food. We are quite well off, so expensive shipping isn't close to the end of the world for our financials. But that doesn't matter to her. She's always doing this and that to save money despite us not needing to. I told her, wife, she could always buy her own, but she is cheap and refuses to pay for the expensive shipping. She grew up pretty poor and I think part of her will always be in the mindset of saving every penny for a rainy day, no matter how much money we have in the bank. Have you been paying your daughter back? Or could you ask Sil or wife to? I haven't. Neither of them will agree to that. My Sil is not very well off, and as I've said, my wife is very cheap. Get a deadbolt for her room too. I'll consider that. Thank you for the suggestion. They've always had a nasty habit of going in her room and snooping. I have also tried telling them all that they should respect our daughter's privacy and that she works hard to buy herself snacks. My wife is of the belief that since our daughter is under her roof, she needs to share anything she buys with the family. Can you have your daughter address the packages to you in case mom wants to intercept packages? I doubt that will happen. My wife isn't a monster. Is this living under my roof something that happens often? Generally she does, as I work significantly more than her, so I'm usually away at work when disagreements between her and our daughter happen. Honestly, I like this whole comment exchange. User info: strange family dynamics here. So many questions. Why is your wife so obsessed with your daughter's snacks? Why have you never discussed basic parenting decisions before starting to raise a child together? Why is your whole extended family over at your place all the time causing problems? Why didn't you address the snooping before? Oop, I'm not entirely sure in all honesty. We do. But I didn't think she would be so upset over a storage bin, and I used my money to buy it, not money from her account or our joint account. My wife allows them over whenever they like. She and her sister are incredibly close. I have, and they don't listen. My wife tells them that our house is theirs and they live across town, so they come to visit a lot. Oop is voted NTA. But there is a lot of concern for his daughter, and he is told he would be the asshole if he doesn't do anything. Update post. January 20th, 2023. My daughter and my Bill both found my Reddit post separately. First, my daughter, who was sent it via a friend who knew the situation. She confronted me about it, and we had a very long talk where she admitted that when I'm away, her mom doesn't treat her well, and often puts her cousins, my nephews, above her, telling her she should be understanding we're far better off than them. I was aware that they would occasionally sneak into her room to take things or play, but apparently they go so far as to wait for her to leave for a few minutes, run in and grab what they want. Her mom also makes a lot of comments about her weight. For reference, our daughter takes after me, being taller with some more masculine features such as broader shoulders, while my wife is small and petite. There's many other things I won't say here that my wife has said to our daughter. I didn't bring it up at first and consulted my wife on buying a lock for our daughter's door, which she opposed, even if our daughter said she'd buy it with her own money. She started yelling about how under her roof our daughter has to abide by her rules. The house is technically mine, not hers. She stormed off and immediately began telling all our friends and her sister and Bill that I was being controlling and awful to her. The Bill found the first post and sent it to her, leading to another argument where she accused me of airing our dirty laundry to the world instead of trying to communicate, despite me trying to and getting shut down. Once she stormed off, I packed a bag, as did my daughter, and we went to a hotel. Yes, we brought the snack bin, where we have been the past few days while I find a good divorce lawyer. My wife is still spreading lies about me, claiming I tried to kick her out, and all sorts of other lies. I'm finished with her. I don't care what she says. I'll be divorcing her and paying as much alimony as she wants so that I can keep my daughter safe from her. I don't care about the house or anything else. She can keep it all and let her sister, Bill, and nephews mooch off her until she's penniless. I'm sorry this is not a happy update, and I doubt I will make one after this. Thank you for opening my eyes, Reddit. Edit. After so many people have told me not to give up the house, I will be doing my best to fight for it. And low alimony for my wife. Me and my daughter shouldn't have had to leave the house we've both grown up in because of my wife. She can live with her sister if she wants to help them so much.
I like this guy's sturdy spine. My house, my rules is to be used sparingly, and for important boundaries, not as a tool of coercion. Shame on the mom. Also, I bet my leftist cheek that what Hoop said is nowhere near the only problem in their relationship.
I'm always amazed how posts that wind up on BoRU start out as a seemingly tiny issue. Sharing possession of snacks. That exposed a much larger issue. Parental abuse. It's the iceberg principle in motion. My favorite one. Oops said, I doubt that will happen. My wife isn't a monster. Narrator. The wife was, in fact, a monster.
Wife airing dirty laundry to everyone who will listen equals fine. Husband asking on an anonymous forum equals not fine. Okay.
As soon as I read that the cousins were entering her room to steal snacks, I knew they had to be taking other things of hers as well. But wow. His wife sure is a piece of work. I'm glad he's taking his daughter and getting out. And so relieved that Reddit managed to convince him not to let his wife take him for everything she can. I am sorry this is not a happy update. Like bro, getting your child away from a control freak who bullies their own kid is a happy update. Good for him. He said it was not a happy update, but honestly the soon-to-be ex-wife sounds like a poison he was drinking one sip at a time. I have to wonder how much the cousins have stolen from the daughter. And what they've stolen from Oop. Why have you never discussed basic parenting decisions before starting to raise a child together? This annoys me because it's something people ask me all the time after I left my ex for how she treated our children. We absolutely did discuss how we would parent before we have kids. But guess what? People change and are almost never honest to themselves or others about how they'll act under stress. People who minimize the importance of respecting boundaries is not a good person emo. There's always an excuse to steamroll someone to get what they want, and that's a dangerous precedent to set. So I'm glad he and the daughter left. Totally think this is the straw that broke the camel's back in the marriage. Though, Dad putting his relationship with his daughter first over the toxic behavior of his spouse. Win. This isn't an easy decision, but clearly OOP's daughter suffered for a lot longer than this went on. The constant needling from her mother. The violations of privacy and expectations she would have none. Had to do a number on her psychology. I'm guessing in a situation where she might be devalued compared to her cousin's mom and aunt. Probably make lots of excuses. I hope that her dad gets her therapy and the two of them have a stronger relationship out of this.
Fuck giving her the house when he's raising the kid.
There must have been so much more going on than just the snack bin. It's the freaking Iranian yogurt issue again. But good for Oop and his daughter for removing themselves from the wife-mom's toxicity. I got to hear saying that our daughter should share her snacks with family and she's being selfish and will get fat. And then realized I was in BoRU and not AITA, so there was a shot this would end with him leaving this awful woman. I'm not proud of my pettiness. But I am so glad he got his daughter away from that mess. Alright, y'all. Bets are open. How long until the wife comes crawling back, begging for forgiveness and saying she made a mistake, and promises to change? I'll put down $20 bucks. The wife is a bully. But the beat still acted like they didn't care about their own niece's feelings at all. I can't understand any of those adults' behavior. I was raised by an oldest child. And I know it sounds dramatic. That has PTSD over having to share with younger siblings. Forced sharing was not a thing growing up. And the grandkids enjoy the joy of that opinion as well. Let me get this straight. Dude posted with a throwaway account and no identifying info that he bought a lockable container so relatives wouldn't steal his daughter's stuff. And he's the bad guy. Exploding head. And so is his daughter. Exploding head. Not his controlling, verbally abusive wife and the thieving relatives. What the F?
Now this is how you parent.
Oop says it isn't a happy ending. But I disagree. Daughter and Oop will be much better off without mother and those in-laws in their lives. I can't wait for the next update where Oop and his daughter move back in and the wife is shamed for treating her daughter like that. NGL, this feels a lot like the wife resents Oop and his daughter for looking like him, and is just getting her high on abusing them both. I just can't fathom how else you show this level of loathing to your intelligent, healthy, responsible, employed 17-year-old. The wife has every box checked that most people would call their ideals, and she is still this awful to her own child.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. Epic Haircast is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.